Something strange happens after people retire. Time stops behaving the way it used to. You know, one week disappears in the blink of an eye, another day seems to last forever. If you've ever thought, how is it already Thursday? Or didn't we just celebrate New Year's? You're not imagining it. And by the end of this video, I think you'll understand exactly why it happens. And you're definitely not alone in this. You know, retirement quietly changes your relationship with time in ways most people never expect it to. Not because you're older, not because you're less busy, but because the entire structure of your life shifts. Today I want to walk you through 4 clear reasons why time feels so different in retirement, and what you can do to feel more grounded, more present, and more in control of your days again. So let's start with the biggest one right off the bat. Number 1, you lose the anchors that used to shape your days. You know, for 30, 40, and even sometimes 50 years, your life, it ran on a schedule. You had work days, you had weekends, you had meetings, appointments, you had deadlines, maybe a vacation, holidays. Even if you don't love the routine, it gave your brain something incredibly important. It was anchors. Anchors are a fixed point in time that tell your brain, this is where we are, this is what's next. You know, Monday had a feeling, Friday had a feeling, even 3 p.m. on a Wednesday had a feeling. Then you retire. And all those anchors, they disappear all at once. Suddenly, Tuesday feels like Thursday. A week feels like a weekend. And a month just slips by without anything marking the beginning or the end. Your brain isn't failing you. It's doing exactly what it's designed to do. Without anchors, it stops measuring time in the same way. This is why so many retirees say, I don't even know what day it is anymore. Or, I blinked and the whole month was gone. It's not memory loss, folks. It's not aging. It's the loss of structure, really. And the good news, you can rebuild anchors. Gentle ones, of course, that give your days shape again. But anchors disappearing is only part of the story. The second reason has to do with how your brain responds to new experiences. And this one surprises a lot of retirees. Let's look at the second reason. Time feels so strange in life. Your brain experiences a drop in novelty. This one surprises people, I know it. Time feels slow when life is full of new experiences. Time feels fast when life becomes familiar. Think back to your childhood. You know, summer felt endless, school years felt long. Why? Because everything was new. New teachers, new friends, new skills, new experiences. As adults, novelty slows down. But during your working years, you still had plenty of it. You had new projects, new coworkers, new challenges, new problems to solve, new routines every season. Your brain had to stay alert. It had to pay attention. And that attention made time feel fuller. Then retirement arrives. Life becomes calmer, more peaceful, more predictable. And when your days start to look similar, your brain compresses them. It stores them as the same, really. And that makes time feel like it's speeding up. This is why retirees often say, I don't know where the last 5 years went. It's not that time is moving faster, it's that your brain isn't getting as many new experiences to slow it down. But here's the hopeful part. You don't need big adventures to bring novelty back. Tiny changes. A new walking route, a new recipe, a new hobby maybe, a new group that you join. These can stretch time again. But there's another reason time starts to feel different in retirement. This one's more emotional than psychological, though. Number 3, you become more emotionally aware of time. This one's subtle but powerful. You know, in retirement, you become more aware of time passing. Not in a fearful way, just in a real way. You notice seasons more. You notice birthdays more. You notice your grandkids growing faster than you ever expected them to. You notice your own energy changing from year to year. You know, when your work and life is noisy, it's busy, you're distracted, you're rushing from one thing to the next. But retirement gives you space, gives you quiet, stillness. And in that stillness, you start to feel time differently. Moments feel more precious, days feel more meaningful, and that emotional awareness makes time feel heavier and sometimes faster. It's like your heart's paying attention in a way it never had time to before. This is why retirees often say things like, I appreciate the little things more now, or I feel time differently. It's deeper. That's not a bad thing. It's actually a sign of wisdom, but it does change how you experience the passing of days. And that brings us to the fourth reason, the one almost nobody talks about, even though near every retiree experiences it. Reason number 4, the freedom paradox. This is the part that catches most people off guard. When you retire, you gain something you've wanted your whole life. Freedom. Freedom to wake up when you want to. Freedom to choose how you spend your day. Freedom to say yes or no to anything, really. But here's the paradox. When you have total freedom, you have total responsibility also. And how you spend your time. And that can feel overwhelming. Without a schedule, you can drift. And drifting makes time slippery, like you're losing it, even while you're living it. You might wake up with the whole day ahead of you, and suddenly it's 4 o'clock and you're not sure where the time went. Folks, that's the freedom paradox. Freedom feels amazing, but without gentle structure, it can also feel like time slipping through your fingers. And that feeling is incredibly common. It doesn't mean you're doing retirement wrong. It means you're human. So what do you do with all this? You don't need to fix time. You just need to give it shape again. So here are 4 simple ways to do that. One for each reason we talked about today. Rebuild your anchors. A morning walk, a weekly lunch, a standing phone call, maybe a hobby group. These small routines give your brain reference points again. Tiny bits of novelty. Try a new thing each week. Maybe a new recipe, a new route when you're walking, a new class. Novelty doesn't have to be big. It just has to be different. Create emotional markers in your life. Write down one thing you did each day. Folks, it doesn't have to be profound. It just has to make sense of the day that you had. Give your freedom a little structure. Not a schedule, just a rhyme. Project Monday, Adventure Wednesday, Family Friday maybe. Gentle themes that guide your week without controlling it. These small habits help your brain rebuild a sense of time. Not the old work rhythm, but a new rhythm that fits your life now. Time doesn't speed up in retirement, folks. It changes shape. And once you understand that, you can shape it right back again. Some retirees say time moves faster. Others say their days feel longer than ever. Which one have you experienced? Folks, if this was helpful, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss the next one. And tell me in the comments, how has your sense of time changed since you retired? And if you'd like to support the channel, there's a link in the description. Folks, I appreciate you spending some of your time with me today. Stay steady, and I'll see you in the next video.